Hey YouTube, today we're going to be looking at Nile Rodgers' guitar lesson, essentially how he gets his tone and some of the techniques he uses. The first thing you want to look at is you got to be playing a Fender Stratocaster. It doesn't really matter which Stratocaster, they're all pretty much the same in terms of sound with small little tweaks and differences. The main thing you got to notice here is that if you watch Nile playing, he's always using this front pickup here. I can't remember if it's position 1 or position 5 on the Strat pickup, but it's this front pickup here and this position all the way forward. Pretty much the volume, tone, everything up full. That's generally how he sets up his guitar. All right, so in terms of tone, Nile Rodgers pretty much just plugs straight into a mixing console. He didn't really use a guitar amp most of the time. He's really famous for, in a similar way as James Jamerson, some other classic Motown artists, would plug directly into a mixing console. At that time, it was probably likely the late 70s, early 80s. SSL desks, I think, generally would have been the types of things he would have been plugging into. And with that, if you open up Logic or a similar DAW, you can generally find a preamp emulation, something like this console EQ on the screen here. If we open that up, we'll just load it up on the guitar track here. I've got a little bit of drive here to sort of thicken up the sound, a little bit of a boost in the mids and a nice boost on the top end there. Top end of that sound there on the guitar. And then essentially he would really play very dry, wouldn't really put much effect on there, not really much reverb and things like that. So generally, the rule of thumb is some sort of direct guitar signal with a bit of EQ, saturation from the desk, and then maybe a tiny bit of short delay and a bit of reverb, but generally it's a very dry sound. Alternatively, if you are looking for something that's a bit nicer sounding, there's also the Corey Wong Neural DSP plugin. If I load that one up, there's a emulation of a console. It's an SSL console. We go here and look at this section here where the amp is. We can switch over to the first amp. Essentially down the bottom here, the controls for a console. Got to be the compression, which definitely helps. I guess that's one effect he would use, the compression in the desk. So we'll just compress that a bit harder as well there. A bit of tube saturation. Generally it was fast compression. That's a bit woofy sounding, so we can reduce the mids on that one. A bit of boost to the highs. The dark sounding, we'll just bring that up. Next thing you want to focus on is your rhythm hand. So developing that rhythmic style of playing is really important. Essentially practicing muting with your fretting hand here. So just sort of rest that across the strings and then listening to some music, anything that's got that syncopated rhythm, and then just playing along, just focusing on this hand development. So you can play with quarter notes, then eighth notes, and something like. Then you can start to mix it up, incorporate some swing, incorporate some alternative rhythms in there as well, mixing up those quarter and eighth notes. It's like don't worry about chords, don't worry about anything else. Just really get this hand super developed. The last thing I'll add is that he generally plays with his Strat like this, very steep. So I think when he hits the strings with his pick, he's generally playing with a pick. From what I can gather, he's hitting them kind of on this angle here as well. I think that contributes a part to his tone. Essentially, if you incorporate all those things together, you're going to get a pretty good sound that's pretty close to his tone. Thanks Thanks for watching today's video. Really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe. And also, if you have any other comments about potentially other tone videos you'd like me to do, just let me know down below, and I'll catch you next time.